Welcome to the Vlad Kachur Show, the #1 show for founders, executives, and entrepreneurs about how to scale companies. And today's video is very, very important. We're gonna go over how to build, manage, and scale a sales team. Listen, no matter what company you have, for the most part, if you have a business, you need to have somebody selling it. You need to have a person who's actually going out, knocking on doors or knocking on emails, depending the type of business you have, and selling your product. Now, I've made a lot of mistakes. Like literally, guys, I've lost. By the way, we got 1.2 million bucks and another 1.2 million bucks, and each of these is $100,000. So we got a lot of cash with us, 2.4 million bucks to be precise. And during this time, I made a lot of mistakes. I've hired a lot of wrong people. I've made every mistake in the book building my sales team. So the lessons I'm sharing are lessons out of pain. They're lessons that, I lose so much money every time I make mistakes, every wrong hire. So I think in this video, it's just maybe 10 minutes. And in this 10 minutes, you're going to get 18 months of my lessons. And many of my lessons so expensive. I hired one guy, I paid him, like $150,000 salary, and then he didn't work out. So imagine how much money I lose on the wrong hires, on the office. It's very costly. So you're going to get the most meaningful, most actionable video, how to build a sales team that's going to make you a lot of money. So the first step that I recommend is product market fit, guys. By that I mean your product has to sell and people are buying it. If you don't have product market fit, no matter who you hire, no matter what process you give them, they can't sell it because there is no product market fit. So make sure you have product market fit. Now that you got to do yourself, right? So with product market fit, you have to sit down and you got to buckle down and sell your product. Like for me, I sat down for a whole month. Meaning for a whole month, I sat down, I prospected, I found the leads, I reached out to the leads, and I sold customers. 1 month I did this. Now, I did this not to maximize revenue, right? Because me selling personally is not a good use of time, right? Another person could sell. But to make what I call the railroad tracks, right? So this way, almost think like a train. I'm trying to make the tracks that a train can go on, that a person can follow. Because if I don't give the proper groundwork what another person should do, how are they going to do it? Like, am I going to assume that my reps are going to figure everything out? That's very challenging, right? So sit down and sell for a month. That's what I did. After you sell for a month, you know exactly and I know, I'm assuming that you close a lot of leads, right? I'm assuming you close a lot of sales and you make money. So if you do, then you know what types of customers pay. You know how long is your sales cycle. You know how much customers pay you, who basically wants your product, and how fast can you close them. So I did this for a month. And after I did this for a month, I found out, okay, so the type of customers are businesses. Ideally, the type of businesses that pay us a lot are also businesses between $20 million to $80 million in VC funding or revenue. And that's who buys our solution. So I said, okay, that's the profile type that I need, right? 20 mil to 80 mil in funding, in venture funding, or in revenue, who are B2B. I was specifically found out that for us, right? So B2B companies. Now, no, when I'm talking about, I'm basically talking about sales for my YouTube channel, right? What I'm describing is the sales for my YouTube channel, because every video I release has some relevant, great sponsors. So what I'm describing to you now is how we grew to get sponsors on the channel. That's what I did. So I sold myself for a month. After I sold myself for a month, I got the templates, I got the scripts. So then it's time to hire reps. Now here, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. I've lost a lot of money. And it's like, in fact, last year, I've lost so much money, it's almost painful for me to think about it because that's when I made many of these mistakes. You got to hire the reps, right? And here, I'm going to say a few don'ts. I initially, listen to some of these stories. You have to hear some of these stories that actually happened to me. It's the craziest things in the world. You have to hear this story. This is a real story. I poached a rep from one of my semi-competitors. Now, I don't think this guy's my competitor because he's small, but we'll call him a semi-competitor. So I poached his rep. Now, this rep agreed to come join my company, meaning I found a talented guy from a semi-competitor to join my company. But then the CEO of that company gave this guy such a hard time that the rep didn't join, meaning he signed my offer and didn't join. My lesson from that, the lesson I learned from that is don't tell which company you're going to. So if you're going to hire a person and that person is going to quit, right, at their boss's company, don't say, where are you going? Say, listen, I resigned. I love your company. It's not for me. But and he's going to say, where are you going? Don't say. Don't say where you're going, because then you'll avoid the challenge that I faced with that first rep. Then after that first rep, right, I hired actually 3 more reps. Now, first I'm just giving you my mistakes that I made. You have to, because no one will believe me that I made these mistakes. I hired 3 reps. Very expensive. These are 3 expensive reps. Paid them buku salaries, meaning for me it was insane salaries. I paid them like $100,000 base. Like for me to pay $100,000 base to these 3 reps. And why did I go out with like such high salaries? Well, because it was easier to recruit. It was easier to recruit at these higher salaries, but I gave them higher targets. I hired 3 reps. Then once I hired these 3 reps, I paid them each like $100,000. The first rep was, he was very tough to say. I'm saying in a very friendly way. He was very tough, so he was gone within like a week. Then I had 2 more reps. Again, very high earning, very high earning, like $100,000 salaries. The first one, since he was making $100,000, now think about this. Imagine if you pay somebody $100,000. Like, to me, that's massive. I paid one of them. I paid $100,000. The other one, I paid $80,000 a year. These 2 reps. And the $100,000 rep, since he's so expensive, I gave him all the templates. I said, here are all the templates that sell and work. You have them, sell. He couldn't do anything. Meaning he spent and tried and he couldn't do anything. And the lesson that I learned from this was, even though these are very expensive people, even though you give them templates and scripts, you'll say, look, here are the scripts. This sold, a lot of money. Here, it still won't work. Meaning that's a lesson, right? Because I came from this journey, that you have to almost like a university. You have to quiz them. You have to teach and teach, because they won't extract. Like imagine if you give somebody scripts. You say, here are the scripts. But they won't extract the right information from those scripts. Meaning they won't connect any dots in those scripts. They'll say, okay, here are the scripts. But you have to teach them. Be like, okay, so how are you going to sell? What are you going to sell? How are you going to overcome it? Practice it to me. It was like a full-time job. And no, the reason I didn't do this is because I said, listen, dude, you make $100,000. You're making $100,000. I'm paying you that. Why am I paying you that if you can't do anything? And I had to overcome my own thinking, right? And I had to say, you know what? I can't pay these reps such high salaries because it creates too much pressure on them. That's my one thing. Pressure to sell that they won't be able to meet. Because I did that thinking that they could sell what I can sell, but they can't sell what I could sell. Or at least probably not right? Like, because you become obsessed with it as a founder. You work 100 hours a week. You read 2-3 books a week. But are the reps? Usually no. Usually they aren't doing that much stuff to grow. So it takes them a lot more time, right? The onboarding for you, what you can do in a month, a rep might be able to do in 6 months, maybe 12 months, maybe 18 months. Oh, almost knocked off my stack pile. This pile's back. So that's the mistakes that I made with 2 reps. You can't overpay. You have to specifically give them lower salaries, thinking about their well-being. Now, note how foreign this is to me. I want to pay them more money. I want to give them more money. But I have to say, listen, I care about you. I care about your success. So we have to pay you a lower base so you'll be more successful. So then I learned that we have to pay a lower salaries. We have to pay lower base salaries and then higher commissions, because then the reps will be more relaxed. 2, I learned that you can't change your product during this time. Like, if you change your product, your pricing during this type of process when these reps are becoming successful, you'll fail. Like I failed, right? So I also learned that you have to work really hard to teach them everything. Because remember the mistake I made. I gave the guy, the $100,000 sales rep, the scripts and said sell. And he couldn't do anything. But he was doing things that didn't even make sense. Like what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? You have to teach them everything. You have to say, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Okay, pitch it to me. Let's practice. So for like a month. So those are my mistakes, right? And by the way, I finally succeeded in the hiring the reps and so forth. And the reason that works is you pay them 50% base, and then you pay them 50% OTE. That means they make half of their money base, and then they make another half of their money OTE, on target earnings. Then I learned you have to really work hard to teach them for a month. really, really work hard to teach them for a month. But no, when I teach reps for a month, I don't like, just sit and teach a rep. They're going to sell stuff on the first day. Like when they're going to come in, I'm going to quiz them for 30 minutes. I also make sure that I give them a lot of information up front. So meaning before the rep shows up at my door, I give them a lot of information up front that I say, you got to know. I don't give them extras. I give them what they got to know. So they'll sell the first month, right? Like they will sell in the first month with you. So that's what I recommend to do. So I'm kind of summarizing. 50% base, 50% OTE. That's the money. 2, the first month you have to literally train them while they're selling. Like while you're actively selling, like what are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? How are you going to do this? So that way they're selling, but you're also teaching. I also learned to give them quarterly quotas instead of monthly quotas. I used to give monthly quotas, like, hey, this is how much you got to sell in a month. That doesn't work. It creates so much pressure on them that they become desperate. And when they become desperate, the lead feels it, they don't get the sale. So those are my lessons with these reps that I learned all through pain, like massive, massive pain, guys. Like, none of my mistakes are easy for me. None of my mistakes are friendly and nice. Like, as a CEO, it's like you just have to lose so much money. Like, think about all my mistakes, right? Hiring the people, recruiting the people, them taking the time. Like, think about how much time. That's why it took 18 months. That's why it took 18 months to do this, because the lessons are so painful. Before we go any further, I'd like to briefly say that this video is sponsored by Verb. Now, guys, we get the best sponsors on this YouTube channel. The types of sponsors that help you grow your companies. And today's sponsor is incredible. When I got a demo of their product, I was sold. Like, literally, I was sold. Verb allows you to have a live stream while you sell your products, and people can buy those products directly as part of this live stream. Meaning they're not going to click and go somewhere else. You can have a live stream where you're showing your products, talking about your products, engaging with this audience, and then they can buy. They can click buy that product and complete the purchase on that same page. Meaning he's not going to leave and go somewhere else to buy your product. Imagine what that would do for your business. So imagine whatever you sell on Amazon, whatever you sell on Etsy, whatever you sell on eBay, whatever physical product you sell. You can put the products here while you're doing live stream and sell those products to your viewers without them leaving. That is incredible. It's like you have your own show where you can sell your products to your viewers. This product is incredible. 7-day free trial. Click the link below. Get a 7-day free trial. And even after that, after the free trial, it's only less than $10 a month. Less than $10 a month for this type of technology. It's incredible, guys. Sign up for Verb, click the link below, start doing these live streams, and you will sell more of your products. And the last point I'd like to mention for you is that how are you going to recruit these people? The way I recommend to recruit sales reps, right, your first reps, is sit down on LinkedIn, buy LinkedIn Recruiter, pay LinkedIn that. It's $1,000. It's very expensive, right? It's $1,000 for 1 month. But with that, I think you get like 300 emails. And you can see who's looking for work. That's really, really important. You can see who's looking for work. Now note, because I don't care about spending my time with people who potentially, I want to know who's looking, because those guys, they're ready to join my company now. And then I do 2 things. I will click the connect message, and in the connect message, I'll say, hey, Mike, you have a great resume. Let's connect. That's what I recommend to say in the connect message, because then he'll connect with you, he'll see that, and that's it free for you, right? That's free. But I also send an in-mail. And the template that I recommend for you to send in an in-mail to these reps is like, hi, Mike, you have a great resume, right? It's a compliment, he'll feel good. Would like to talk to you about our account executive position in Miami for my media company. You can fill those for you, right? Where we, and then say what you do. Say like, we sell advertising for my media company, and currently our traction is X dollars per month. The base salary for, let's say, for example, you say the base pay for this job is, let's say, $40,000 per year and $80,000 OTE. Does this sound interesting? That's the kind of template that works on LinkedIn Recruiter in-mail that I send to reps. And if you can throw in like another, like one-liner, right? Why you're impressive, why you're a good place for them to work, such as like, like we're one of the biggest channels in business we're one of the channels in business with guests such as X, Y, and so forth people. That way, one line of what I call excitement. And to that, they'll reply. Now, notice a few things there that I said how much the base is and how much the OT is. Usually they don't say that. Usually they'll either not say it, And the reason I started saying the base is because I get way less replies because people think it's a free job. They think it's a free, right? Like meaning commission only job. That's why I started saying the base. And then I started OT. And another line I added later, I said, but you'll actually make this OTE. And I say the amount. Because a lot of times people think when they see base salary and OTE, because a lot of these companies, they'll never get the OTE, which is on target earnings. They never achieve it. So if they see a company that says, yeah, our base is, let's say 50 grand, but on OTE is 100 grand, they never make that 100. They always make that 50 or 55. So I made sure to say, but you'll actually make this exact OTE. So then people know exactly where the job is. It's in Miami. What the job is. Okay, sales. Okay, at a media company, they do this. This is why they're impressive. This is the base I'll get. This is the on target earnings I get. But I'll actually get this. And then I say, does this sound interesting? That is a good template how to get your potential sales reps to answer you on InMail, on LinkedIn. That's what I use. And it works. And even that I kind of learned through pain, right? Because of the mistakes that I was making. So this is how you get your first reps. That's how you hire these reps. Now you will have to make 2 reps successful. You're going to have to make 2 reps successful. And when I hire reps, by the way, I usually bring in 2 to 3. I don't even bring in 1 rep. I bring in 2 to 3 reps to my company. Why 2 to 3? Well, first of all, 1 might not even show up, right? I'm assuming 1 rep won't even show up. Then 1 rep might quit on you in the first week, which happens to me sometimes, right? They'll show up and they'll quit in the first week. So basically, if you hire 3, you'll be lucky if you have 2 working sales reps. So hire 3 reps. I know it's expensive, but that's how you do it fast, right? Because otherwise, you might take 6 months. So where are we so far? That's the strategy I used. You got 2 quota reps successful. Now let's discuss a little bit about the leaders, right? So I'm assuming so far in the journey, this is the journey I'm assuming you took so far. You sold yourself for a month. You were successful. You hired 2 reps. You worked really hard for that 1 month to make your 2 reps successful. Then you kind of weaned off, right? So you work with them for a month and then you kind of let them carry on. Then you weaned off. Then you say it's working. By the way, it's a magical moment when the reps sell without you. You have no idea how happy I was when my reps sell without my involvement. It's a moment of beauty. It's like a Mount Everest for me. It was so incredible to have that feeling when the reps actually sold and said, Vlad, I sold the client. So I was very happy about that. So you got these 2 reps and they're working. Now it's what time for? Time for the next move, which is hire a leader. Now note, I also lost a lot of money with these leaders. It's just like, I lost a lot of money with these leaders. Now the leader's tricky. Now here's why the leader's tricky. Any sales leader you're going to be talking to, they're good speakers. They're impressive. They're presentable, right? Like they're good talkers. They are. But the challenge is you're not looking for a good talker. You're looking for somebody who's going to take you from your 2 reps to 10 working reps. That's what you're looking for. And you can't wait 6 months because imagine this. If some leader comes up who doesn't have a job, he has no job, works for you for 6 months and fails, he got paid for 6 months. The leader is actually happy. But you've wasted 6 months of salary and of your time because you need to grow. So I have a few tips for you on how to make sure that your leader, let's call this person the VP of sales, your startup VP of sales is right. So here are the questions that I recommend to ask this candidate, right, this VP of sales. Now, one of my favorite things to do with these guys is to say, listen, can you give me the Charlie Munger version? And the Charlie Munger is a billionaire investor. He's Warren Buffett's partner. And Charlie Munger always says, give me the short version, 1 or 2 sentences. So ask these candidates, what types of deal sizes did you sell? $1,000 deals, $10,000 deals, $100,000 deals. Usually they can only go down by 1 deal size. So if he sold $100,000 deals, you could probably get that person to sell $10,000 deals, but not 1,000. Right? So if he sold $1,000 deals, he could probably do $10,000 deals, but not 100. So what types of deal sizes did you sell? The next question is, well, tell me about the team you manage and how did you get this team? You're looking for somebody that actually hired the reps. You're looking for somebody that onboarded the reps. You're looking for somebody that managed the reps. Ask this person, how many of your reps met quota? A lot of times, these guys, they talk so much. I'm not kidding about this. And they're good talkers. But I'm not looking for that fluff. I need the action. And a person who did the job, can easily tell you, like I can easily tell you, yeah, this is how you recruit the reps, this is where you go, this is how you onboard the reps, this is how you train the reps, this is how you make sure they hit quota, and this is how you make sure that they're successful. They won't be able to do that. They'll struggle at a lot of it because they didn't do it, right? There's always some leader who manages this guy, and there's all this help. So ask them this question, and it's okay if you have a little bit of a stretch. By stretch, I mean, like, I'll give you an example. So I interviewed this guy, and he was good. I was able to right away tell, like, okay, so you run these 10 reps, cool. Because I'm just giving you an example, right? So I interviewed this guy, and now I was like, okay, so how many reps do you have? He's like, I have 10 reps. Cool. I said, what's the split of these reps selling new leads to selling, like upselling, for example, right? Because those are different skill sets. If you're going out and you're knocking on doors and selling leads, that's different than I upsell, right? The upsell is a much easier journey, I think. So then I found out that like 60% or 70% of the time were upsell and 30% of the time was new leads. Okay. Then I said, how many of them met quota out of those 10 reps? And he's like, okay, out of the 10 reps, it was so many, so forth. So the point I'm trying to make is get in the details. Get in the details. Find out exactly what this person did. Did he hire the reps? How did he manage them? And also get them to explain the product. I had one guy, I was able to weed this guy out because I said, can you tell me, like, what does the company do and how does it work? And he struggled. The guy struggled to tell me what his company does and how it works. This is a real story. Like, you're going to be my VP of sales and you can't explain what your company did? Like, do you understand? Like, so I had to say, like, dude, like you're great, but let's stay in touch. Because he couldn't communicate, right? Like, if a VP of sales can't explain what the company does, it's a pass. If your potential VP of sales never hired anybody, it's a pass. If he doesn't have quota achieving reps, it's a pass. If he doesn't have at least like 30% of the reps sell whatever you're selling, new leads, I'm assuming, it's a pass. And I understand that you have a little bit of a stretch that you'll do. I understand it, but just make sure that the stretch is not crazy. So those are the questions I recommend to ask this potential VP of sales. Now, once you've hired this leader, now what do you do with the leader? I'm going to suggest a strategy that'll save you money, right? Because a lot of times the companies, they suggest strategies, but those strategies lose you money. So I'm going to suggest a strategy that'll save you money. How do you make sure that you actually make money, right? Because a lot of these leaders are very expensive. What I recommend to do is get the leader to sell for 1 month, right? So for 1 month, say, sell. Be like, I need you to sell, because how are you going to be able to train my reps and teach my reps if you've never sold my product? Like, it's going to be challenging. So for 1 month, sell. After you successfully sell for 1 month and you've achieved the results, here are your 2 reps. Just give them 2 reps at a time and say, make these reps successful. Get these reps to quota. Once that leader gets the 2 reps to quota, now remember, you had 2 reps that you made successful as the founder CEO. Then you brought in this leader, and this leader made 2 new reps successful. Now you have 4 performing reps. You should be doing pretty good. Now, no, keep in mind, I think with about 5 reps, with 2 reps, right? Just you and your 2 reps, you should do about $1 million in sales. With about 5 reps, you should roughly, now if you're kind of selling in America, right? If you're based in America and you're selling in America, with about 5 reps, you should be selling around $10 million, right? Maybe it's 6 reps, so forth, but 5-6 reps, you should be selling around $10 million a year. So that's a good business. Even if you have a 10x multiple of that, right? If you take 10x multiple of revenue, you got a $100 million company with 5-6 reps. That's great. Like, I'll clap for you. I think that's impressive. Then you need to get from $10 million in sales to the next level, right? Whatever the next barometer is. But I think that is what I call a widget, right? So you took a business that didn't exist, then you sold for 1 month. After you sold for 1 month, you got 2 reps and you made 2 reps successful. Once you made 2 reps successful, you brought on a leader. Once you brought in this leader made 2 reps successful. Once the leader made those reps successful, you gave him more reps till you had about 5-6 reps, and then you're doing close to $10 million a year. $100 million business, you are successful. Then you just need to, how do I scale more? When does this leader become, basically his skill set doesn't match, and then you have to bring in the next leader that can scale it up. And that is how you create, build, and scale a team, a sales team. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It had a lot of my lessons, a lot of my ups and downs, a lot of my pains, because, these things are tough. Building a business is very challenging. And just the few wisdom of nuggets that I share with you, if somebody shared that with me, I could have skipped those advice. But a lot of times they give you fluff advice. I'm sure you know, when you read advice, it's almost like you get advice that's not worth reading. I think, because it's like common sense things. I need a nugget that I don't know, right? So that's what I'm trying to share with you guys. I'm trying to share wisdom nuggets that hopefully you didn't know. So from this video, you take away that one thing that'll make you more successful, that one thing that'll keep your business above and make you more money. Now, this channel is all about entrepreneurship and scaling startups. I hope you enjoyed this video because it's my actual story. It's what I actually went through, and it's how I actually built my sales team. And so subscribe, hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and share it. Click the share button too also and share this video with somebody, because I'm sure one entrepreneur that you know could benefit from this video, because then they can get their sales team, right? The 1-2 reps, the leader. Then they can build their sales team and their business will be more successful because of you. And again, thank you so much to Verb for sponsoring this video. It's an amazing, amazing product that allows you to sell products from a live stream. So Verb allows you to sell products, actual products, from a video live stream. So you can have a live stream and people can buy those products from your live stream. Incredible product. And they also have a lot of sales enablement tools. So this way you will sell a lot more of your product, whether you sell yourself or if you have a sales team. If you have a sales team, you should absolutely use Verb for their sales enablement tools, because they have a lot of really useful tools in terms of analytics, in terms of how to convert more customers that'll make you more money. So thank you guys for watching, and see you soon.